We're continuing our conversation here with Vance Kirkpatrick, United States Navy veteran. Back here with Vance, the P2V Neptune, built by Lockheed Aircraft. Okay.
Yes.
That airframe actually went on for quite a long time.
I think it first came out in about 1945. The truculent turtle set a nonstop, no mid-air refueling flight from someplace in Australia to, I believe, Cleveland, Ohio.
The truculent turtle.
The truculent turtle.
I like that. So wow, that's a long haul. I'm trying to think hours wise on that. That. And what was your cruise speed in a P2V? What was the?
I don't recall that as accurately as I should.
Just a ballpark, maybe.
Yeah, I think we probably cruised somewhere a little above 160 knots or so.
Yeah.
It had a top speed quite a bit higher than that, but
yeah. That was still a long journey, and even at cruise there, boy, it's amazing to think that those aircraft could, the amount of fuel you'd have to have on board for something like that.
Yes, but we had the carburetors were, even today looking back, I mean, they were spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
You'd have like on planes we have light planes today. You get up at cruise and you lean it back to your top.
Sure.
Temperature, turbine outlet temperatures, and then you exhaust outlet temperatures, and then you're enriching it maybe 120 or 150 degrees.
Yeah.
And you got a pretty good cruise.
Yeah.
On those Stromberg carburetors, you had a full rich position. You could bring it back to auto lean, and the carburetor would actually sense the air temperature, the air pressure, and it would get your exact, absolute best fuel lean mixture.
Yeah, so your fuel usage was minimal.
Yeah.
So that's really once again the technology. Even though we're talking about old reciprocating engines and stuff, that's pretty amazing for that time period. So,
as I recall, in the 1830s on the PBY, we'd get them down to burning. And we had, right in the tower, we had 2 fuel flow indicators. Mm-hmm. And we'd get them down to about 35, 37 gallons an hour at lean and cruise.
Yeah. So
each engine.
Yeah, each engine. So once again, that's still even leaned out like that. There's a lot of fuel on board.
Oh, yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. So, did you ever, I know this is kind of a different question there, flying in those, did you ever have the opportunity to sit in the right seat or something like that and fly for a few?
Occasionally, but not often.
Yeah,
I actually started learning to fly when I went through A school,
mm-hmm.
and one of the instructors there was an enlisted pilot, and he had his own airplane, and he'd make money on weekends teaching the kids to fly.
Sure, wow.
I didn't get my pilot's license until after I got out, though.
Right. So your Navy career, you went for 4 years, and
yes.
you got out, and then you had the opportunity to go into the reserves, the Naval Reserves.
I didn't go into an active reserve unit. I was in the regular Navy, and then they blamed it on Truman, I believe, but you had to do 4 years extra mm-hmm. on the inactive reserve.
Right.
So I wasn't a participating member. I was just available for call.
Yeah. So you were given the opportunity by the guy that was letting you out, saying like, hey, if you go into this, you can, if you decide to come back, you can maintain your rank and come back in. And you had all intention of doing that, I guess, and doing that until I hear you met your wife, and of course all that.
Well, yeah, I got out. My fellow I used to fly with, Ted Ritz,
mm-hmm.
told me, he says, you got 90 days, you keep your rate and come back. And I was, by that time, I just made first class petty officer, which is, I guess they'd call it an E6 now.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought, that's good advice. I'll go out, and I got out and ran into Juanita about December of 1955.
Mm-hmm.
and then we got married June 2nd, 1955, and she was more interested in me getting a job than continuing college.
Yeah.
So I went on the sheriff's department.
Yeah. Did you come back after the Navy? Did you come back to the Los Angeles area?
I came back to LA area, and I lived in the YMCA in Glendale, and then I moved in with a whole bunch. It was anywhere from 4 to 6 or 8 veterans that were going to Glendale College at the time, and we had a apartment on Los Feliz Boulevard.
Nice. Okay.
And I guess Juanita came up there trying to pick up a guy, and she did.
I like it, so she couldn't go wrong. An apartment of 6 veterans and stuff, living in an apartment. So, okay, so we're going to take our break, and then we'll come back. We'll talk a little bit about the sheriff department stuff there. So we'll be right back here with Vance. Thank you for tuning in to this installment of AV Veterans Talk here at Aerotech News.